you have Jose Abreu, who showed up a week and a half before he has to report.
I keep forgetting.
Who's getting work.
Yeah, people forget it.
I keep forgetting it, so I see a lineup and I'm like, wait, what the fuck?
Yeah, Jose Abreu's gonna hit 6.
I put that tweet out yesterday because I was sitting on 45 coming to the office in traffic, and I was just like manic laughing because it just randomly popped in my head. It's like, Jose Abreu is going to be in this fucking lineup. And he mashed it.
Yeah.
He's so good.
All right, we're back here on Beyond the Diamond podcast. Brian, LaLima, ApolloDez, producer Josh here with you. Spring training is here. Pitchers and catchers reporting this week. You've got position players next week. The season is finally underway with the start of spring training. I can't believe it. I feel like just yesterday it was the parade. The World Series trophy was being raised, so forth and so on. Dana Brown, the new general manager, coming out hot. It's coming out hot. Making moves. He extended CRISTIAN Javier. They're apparently in discussions with Framber Valdez and Kyle Tucker about contract extensions. You also have him talking to Scott Boras about Jose Altuve and Alex Bregman, saying that they should retire as Houston Astros. So let's start with Dana Brown, Des.
Dana Brown. Downtown Brown.
Right on cue.
So
Said downtown.
That was so good.
Downtown Dana Brown.
I mean, it's refreshing. And I think, and Chandler put that tweet out that was just perfect. He's like, this was more information that we've gotten in one press conference than like the two predecessors before him.
Yeah,
like in all the years combined.
He said in 9 minutes he got more. Yeah. And Dana Brown said it. So I was at the Houston Astros media luncheon, and he said it word for word. He was like, I'm going to be transparent with the media. I like the media. So it's going to be different.
I like that a lot.
I love it.
And that's great for us once we get in. But two, also, I like no media got the drop on the Javier thing. Came straight from the Astros. Yep. Literally just a Twitter post. It's always cool to see like when the front office is just like, yeah, we're going to do it ourselves. The second thing was he's coming in and he's doing what we thought he would do. Extend the championship window by extending really good players. Foreign concept for a lot of teams, but pay your guys when you have your championship window. And Javier's locked in. I think it was great. Bought out some of his arbitration years, some free agent years. That's life-changing generational money for him. I mean, we all know the story, right? Signed for $10,000. It's just... I like seeing that. I like seeing arbitration years being bought out. We saw it this past week. Corbin Burns reporting to camp. Over $724,000 of Brewers to his face in an arbitration hearing said, you're the reason why we didn't make the playoffs. The All-Star, the Cy Young, like this guy's fucking filthy. Their ace.
A year removed from the Cy Young.
Yes. And just straight up say that in an arbitration case over $724K, which is pennies to an organization. You want to avoid arbitration at all costs. And hey, you know what? Let's give you a little butt tap and let's buy out some of those RBers. And that's what they did with Javier. Excited about the Framber development. Excited about the Tucker development. Dana Brown, downtown Brown.
Yeah.
Doing the thing.
To talk about Corbin Burns real quick. Could you imagine? I think he was like 11-5 in 2021, 12-8 last year, sub 3 ERA. He was blamed for the Brewers not making the playoffs. But, hey, you know, they also traded Josh Hader. Their top hitter hit like 257, 251, 257, something like that. They had guys that were hitting 220, 230. But yet, hey, yeah, let's blame our best arm.
Oh, 100%.
Like, could you imagine being a player and that's what they tell you in the arbitration hearing?
I would laugh.
I would laugh too. I would be so pissed, though.
And I've said it, and I'll say it again. Arbitration is just a dirty game, and it's a third party that has no affiliation to an organization or player. The team lays all the facts, the player lays all the facts, and they just look at it and they agree. The player side or the team side. And I had a buddy with the Rays who was an opener, right? So he was a reliever. They just made him start the game. He's officially listed as a starting pitcher, but the Rays were doing, allegedly, the Rays were doing this starter thing, right?
Yeah,
the opener thing. And so he went to arbitration. And the first thing the team said to him, it was like, you're going to probably lose this case because you didn't hit your thresholds to be a starting pitcher to hit your innings that we have for you. And he was like, are you kidding me? Like, you put me as an opener. I'm a reliever by nature. I'm a lefty. And now you're saying I didn't hit my starting innings pitch benchmark. He was like, "What are we doing here?" Lost his case. Team won the arbitration case. I say that allegedly, so the Rays can't come get me. But
yeah, allegedly that's also the Rays, so
it's
they're gonna
just
be
dirty,
cheap anyways.
dude. It's a dirty game, and anger your ace like Corbin Burns. I'm glad we're shying away from that and just paying the guys.
Yeah, and then plus another thing that Dana Brown said over the last couple of days at Astro spring training with the pitchers and catchers reporting is that he has had conversations with Casey Close, the agent of Kyle Tucker, and he felt like there were no hard feelings. Now, Kyle Tucker asked for 7.5. They settled on 5. So that's what, $2.5 million off. That's
a big number.
Pretty big number. Big gap. But, he's still under team control for at least, 2023, 2024, and 2025. I just feel like an extension for Kyle Tucker is coming. I think just from being around Dana Brown for a little bit, hearing how he's talked, hearing how he's been with the media, and he's been open, he's been aggressive. It's going to be different. Like, this isn't James Click. This isn't even Jeff Luhnow, right? No. And Jeff Luhnow we know what he did, a phenomenal job. James Click also did a good job when he was here. This is different, man. Like, this dude is coming in and he has a mindset of locking this core up for a long time because he said the window was already open and he wants to extend that window even more.
We talked about it, right? Especially with the new expansion of playoffs, excuse me, and all these different opportunities for teams to get in. And at that point, you just got to get hot, right? And I made jokes like maybe the next Astros World Series would be like an 82-win team that just got hot at the right moment. But when you have you're a heater on the table, you're going to keep pressing your bets. And that's what Dana Brown's doing. And I think you nailed it because he's not Jeff Luhnow and he's not James Click, but he might be the perfect blend of both of them, where Jeff was just a go out, we're going to win all costs killer. And yeah, James Click, methodical, analytical. Mm-hmm. We're gonna plot our way down the field. Where Dana Brown's just like, all right, I already have a full house. How do I keep getting all these chips in here? Oh, let's extend these players. Let's get these guys in. Let's do that and maximize the winning. By the way, I'm really good at scouting and I'm really good at development of minor league systems. So I'm just gonna let everything on the major league field keep going. Let me rebuild everything on the back end. Yeah. And so this window will extend with the guys on the field, plus the immediate juice you add with him and his scouting expertise for, damn near 2 decades on the back end.
Can we
aces are full.
Can we talk about Javier real quick and just
hand
him his flowers?
I guess we'll talk about him. You guys want to talk about him?
We talk about
Javier. I got a little stat for you.
A little stat?
A little stat.
Okay.
Stat action.
All right.
Cristian Javier, in his time with the Astros, very short. He's only 23 years old. He's already passed Jose Lima, and Charlie Morton for WAR with the Astros.
Gotta love WAR. The stat.
Has he really? Big WAR guy.
Big WAR guy. He's coming up on
Pentagon. When it's some ad dollars, the Pentagon will approach you.
For a war dog over here. He's coming up on Brad Lidge, Will Harris. He's pretty close behind Framber already.
On WAR?
Yeah.
Can you give me some numbers that fucking matter? Like, give me some better stats than that, Josh. Come on.
I mean, I can't compare his stats with the other teams or other like ERA and stuff because he hasn't hit.
So he's innings. What was? I'm just kidding. I'm just giving you a hard time because you guys know I fucking hate analytics. But what's his WAR again?
His WAR is 6.3.
Career WAR. Wow.
Who has the top WAR as a pitcher
for the Astros?
No, just right now. In Major League Baseball, do you have that?
Oh my god!
I mean, it's got to be like just in the league,
like for their career.
Yeah,
it's got to be Justin Verlander or Scherzer. Yeah, one of the two.
Yeah, I mean, right now I just have the Astros pulled up.
Okay, so who's top for the Astros?
Top for the Astros is Royo at 45.7.
Okay, so that's kind of. I just wanted a generalization on numbers on that.
JV at 21.6 in his time with the Astros.
Wow.
So put that in perspective, Javier and his. Young season.
And Javi hasn't really. None of these young guys have really had a normal years, right? Like they came up in 2020 during the 60-game Mickey Mouse season, and then you had everything a normal season of 21. But Javi was in and out of the rotation. He got sent down. Then he was in the pen. Then he's back in the rotation, and then they're starting to get their footing. And I mean, ALCS, and the World Series, like.
Do you know how egregious it is for Dodgers fans to actually celebrate that World Series?
60 games
like,
is outrageous.
Like, come on, like 60 games.
But look, if I had it, I'd be.
I would also,
but I would also
celebrate
lean
the hell
into
out of
it. I would also lean into it.
Oh yeah, you for sure. But
you gotta have the wherewithal.
You have to have wherewithal.
I just,
dude, 60 games.
Let's fast forward. Or rewind. Luis Garcia, who we're gonna talk about in the new rule implementation, he was your Game 4 starter.
It's not even a new rule. It's just the enforcement
of the rule because they got
a rule
soft.
that's been around for forever. Yeah.
So, Luis Garcia was your Game 4 starter in 2020 in the ALCS when the Astros were like, we have no one.
Right.
And we're like, they're about to get swept. Obviously, they ran 3 in a row before dropping Game 7. But Luis pitched that Game 4. And, like, I think he had maybe, like, 13 innings in the regular 60-game sprint before that. And he pitched that moment. Like, all these guys that we're talking about now, Framber has ups and downs. He struggled against the Rays. Remember, Cray had to get us on his ass.
Moment, yeah.
Javi struggled against the Braves in 21. Like, you have all these guys that are just dudes now that went through the ringer and fire.
Yeah.
And we didn't know it was the ringer and fire then. But now they're prepared even more. So this is why this past World Series, I was like, the failures, for lack of better words, of Framber and Luis and Javi giving up home runs in big moments against the Braves or whoever it was in the past are going to propel them to be really fucking good in 2022 and beyond. Like, you learn from that shit.
Right. So it's funny to hear national type media talk about the Astros pitching staff. The biggest topic of this offseason was, well, how are the Astros going to do it without Justin Verlander? They lost Justin Verlander. They've got Framber. They've got McCullers, blah, blah, blah. Well, let's use some examples here. Framber Valdez, Luis Garcia, Christian Javier, Jose Urquidy, not in any order. And then obviously Lance is Lance. He's got top tier stuff. He's had some injuries along the way. But just the names of Javier, Garcia, Urquidy, and who am I missing? Framber. Think about the experience that these dudes have.
Urquidy has like the most World Series wins of a foreign-born pitcher.
Urquidy pitched in Washington in the 2019 World Series and shoved. Like, look at all the experience. That's why when people are like, oh, what's their pitching going to look like? They lost Verlander, blah, blah, blah. It's like, okay, first of all, people, they have almost everybody coming back at the back end. They've got Presley. They've got Montero,
Abreu.
Hector Neris, Brian Abreu. Look, Brian Abreu didn't give up a run.
Yeah, he might be
like
as good as Edwin Diaz.
And then you've got the guys that I just said in the rotation, and you try to implement Hunter Brown with whatever role that he takes on.
He comes in your hobby role where he's like your sixth man, but could also be your long guy, like could be your plug guy. Like,
all these dudes have so much experience, and it goes back to all the way to 2019. We're in 2023 now.
I'm gonna say this. Then this is not even a hot take, because Hunter Brown's getting a lot of fucking innings this year. Obviously, Fangraphs had a great article on. I know you're not an analyst guy, but they really dumbed it down for us meatheads. That Hunter Brown, even though he looks like JV, he pitches like Framber Valdez, and they had the stats. And it was this perfect Fangraphs thing where his ground ball rate on his slider is like 71%.
Jeez.
Framber Valdez's ground ball rate is 69%.
Wow.
So he has the fastball velocity in the up like JV.
Yeah.
But his ground ball rate is Framber. He's like this hybrid of them two.
It's like a perfect mix, dude.
And I think and we can break this down in season, but Hunter Brown being left in against the Yankees with the bases loaded, 1 out. He got himself in that jam. I think it was game 4. And Dusty kept him in to get that second out and then pulled him. I think in that moment, he grew so much as a pitcher in Major League Baseball than sitting on the bench and watching the guys pitch. Because in that moment, the game was kind of, the Astros were kind of cruising.
Yeah.
But one swing away, then it's Harry. But he let him in and let him get that out and said, hey, great job, kid. Get the butt tap and then bring in Montero and get the out. Or,
That's why having Dusty Baker is huge, because other managers might have yanked him. But Dusty Baker's got the old school mentality mixed in with the new school mentality. And it's like, I trust my guy.
Yeah.
Like, he sees the long game, or the end game, the long game, whatever you want to call it, in leaving him in that moment. He left him in to get one more out and then yanked him to get Montero, and they close out the inning, whatever. But like, just the experience and just trusting your guy. And I'm sure in that moment, the experience of being in Yankee Stadium and pitching in a hostile environment
In
in the ALCS in the October. That's one thing. But then you dumb it down even more. I'm sure a takeaway from him is, wow, Dusty, trust me, that Dusty left me in.
Yeah. He's probably I had this long of a leash.
Yeah, like he trusts me.
And he
like,
got to watch.
That's the thing that doesn't like those are things that like
It's
go
little
unnoticed.
things, dude. It's
right.
the little things.
He got to watch his hero, Justin Verlander, go through a similar thing with Dusty in that
On the game 5.
In game 5 where he left him in, and
It's
I mean,
little
there's so
things in
much he
baseball.
learned so much this past year to go into hopefully a long career.
Josh, who's your hero?
You know, let me tell you about a little man named Jesus Christ.
I mean, I thought you were going to say Jose Altuve.
I thought you were gonna say
Jose
Altuve,
Altuve. Big JC guy over there. But I think the big thing...
You saying Jesus Christ can't hit a curveball?
The big thing coming out of all this, you have this nucleus and core of Framber, Javi, Garcia, Urquidy, Lance, and any of those guys can pitch a big game in a big moment, and I trust them 100% completely.
Yeah.
The second thing, too, is you have a team that's built to win, obviously, because we just won, but I think they have the best chances the 90s Yankees to repeat because you have Jose Abreu, who showed up a week and a half before he has to report.
I keep forgetting.
Who's getting worse.
Yeah, people forget it.
I keep forgetting it, so I see a lineup and I'm like, wait, what the fuck?
Yeah, Jose Abreu's going to hit 6.
I put that tweet out yesterday because I was sitting on 45 coming to the office in traffic, and I was just like manic laughing because it just randomly popped in my head. It's like, Jose Abreu is going to be in this fucking lineup. And he mashes. Like, he's so good. And I don't know. Like, you have another year of prime Breggy. Jordan and Kyle haven't even entered their primes yet. Jose Altuve is just constant professional pro. Michael Brantley's back. Like, Jeremy Pena just all of a sudden is a fucking god.
Before we get into Luis Garcia and his little windup that he's going to have to tweak.
You see those biceps? You see those biceps from
Pena?
Pena? You see those biceps?
Bro, it made me today I'm doing back and biceps because Jeremy Pena looks jacked in a uniform.
Like JP.
Like, I mean, dude.
JP, drop
on, bro.
Drop the workout, bro. Drop the work. Because those biceps are biceps.
You know the picture of Pena in a waterfall with his shirt off? Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
He's just chiseled.
We should recreate that.
Can we
try and do that?
We should just do it in the bathtub, like with the shower.
We have them at the spring training house. Like, hey, we just need you to do this for 5 seconds.
Like Pena, can we get an updated version?
Yeah.
Like, we see the biceps, bro. Yeah. Like, just come on, just give the people what they want, damn it. Because I need a new picture to post. Like, when you do something good,
we would hit every sponsor mark on that one post of Jeremy just shirtless at the spring training house.
Come on, dude. But yeah, he's he looks like he's in good shape. And oh, by the way, Michael Brantley is basically on track to be good to go by opening day. I mean, it's crazy. All right, fire out of the cannon. Don't think about it. Just tell me. See, Josh pulled it up. Nice. I saw the abs in the corner of my eye. All right, fire it out of a cannon. Don't think about it. Just tell me. Opening day, everyone's healthy. Where does Jeremy Pena hit in the lineup?
Ooh, I would bat him 9th.
What?
My second leadoff.
Yeah, I like 9th, or I still like 2nd. I think he's protected and has the best chance to succeed.
So you'd have Martín Maldonado hit 8th?
Yes.
Chaz 7th?
Yeah.
Abreu 6th? Tucker 5th? Jordan
4.
No, Bregman 4th, Jordan 3rd, Michael Brantley 2nd, Altuve 1st.
Yes.
Yeah. I like the second. It's like one of the things I try to preach to my 13U kids, because there are certain kids that I will either hit leadoff 2-hole or 9-hole. And they're of course they're 13. They're like, "Well, you bet me last go." You got to have a second leadoff.
Yeah.
Like, look at the way that the game goes. Like, there's little nuances that you don't understand yet.
Yeah, it's just
I like the idea.
Protection without also hitting.
So like that's the biggest topic is like the protection of the lineup. But for me, I think opening day, I think what Jeremy Pena did in the postseason earns him the 2 spot.
That's fair. 100% fair. And
then
that would go either way.
That would move Michael Brantley to the 7-hole.
That's
like outrageous. I mean, a healthy Michael Brantley.
Outrageous. So it also goes to Dusty, who's going to have 1,000 different lineups.
Right.
And he's going to have left, right.
Right.
But the reason why I say 9th, and I reckon here I could feel the comments on Twitter and I could feel the comments on.
But
YouTube.
We get it. Like, I know why you would have him at 9th.
Does Jeremy Pena get more fastballs hitting in front of Martín Maldonado or in front of Jose Altuve?
Exactly.
Yeah, because you would want to go after. Wait, hang on.
You want to go. is Jeremy Pena going to get more fastballs hitting in front of Martin Maldonado or hitting in front of Jose Altuve?
Jose
Yeah.
Altuve.
He's
right. It would be in front
because
of
if
Altuve.
And no offense to Martin,
No.
we know he's not an offensive power.
Right.
They're gonna attack.
You're gonna attack.
I'm gonna
Jeremy
go
Pena.
after Jeremy Pena with all the off speed.
Correct.
But if I have
because
Jose
you know you
Altuve behind him,
you don't want to make mistakes to Pena because then you got to have Altuve up because Pena will be on
Pena's
base.
on base. Now
Base.
you're gonna pitch Altuve.
Now the lineup rolls.
Now you're cooking because even then Altuve gets out.
Right.
You have Brantley, Jordan, Breggs behind him.
Behind them, yeah.
That's how my thinking. Instead of going Pena, Maldi, Chaz, Altuve,
right?
You can go pitch at Maldi. You could pitch at Chaz sometimes.
Yeah.
And then you have the threat of Altuve, but he's in the hole.
So that's going to be the big topic is the protection aspect of
Correct.
it. Right.
And he's young enough, and I just lay it out there. I'm like, look, dude, you're not batting ninth all year. You're gonna bat 2. You're gonna be bouncing everywhere.
Yeah.
But the reason behind ninth is you're gonna get fucking groove fastballs.
And Dusty's gonna give Michael Brantley days off.
100%.
So there's gonna be times where Pena does hit in the 2-hole. But I like to again, like it's a second leadoff in the 9-hole, and I hope people understand that. And if they don't, like have some wherewithal, and figure it out. But I mean, I like the idea. I just don't know if Dusty's actually gonna do that. I mean, once Martin hit 9-hole pretty much the entire season, right?
Pretty much.
Yes.
Yeah. So
or they occasionally had Chaz hitting 9th. Second leadoff.
Is Chaz the opening day starter in center field?
Currently, yes.
1,000%.
Yeah.
It's unless Leon just goes off and
Leon's got the
hernia.
Yeah.
So he's not even gonna
be ready for
it's
Chaz's
I mean,
spot.
obviously the former regime loved Jake Myers. We don't know what Dana Brown, who he likes and who he doesn't. Jake's gonna hopefully be healthy.
I don't even think Jake makes the opening day roster. I think David Hensley will get a spot before him.
Yeah. Hens has a lot more.
Yeah, but if Dubon makes the lineup before,
whoa, dude, why you gotta throw a straight bullet
dude?
at Dubon,
Why,
man?
Dude, Dubon just caught a stray, bro.
Wow,
I'm just
saying,
dude.
Dubon's
you
nice.
You would at this moment
had some beers at Woodrow's.
At this moment, if it came down to the last spot between Dubon and Jake Myers, who you giving it to?
Jake Myers.
Dez? Want me to answer for you? I know. I'm giving it what?
Dubon.
Yeah, absolutely giving it to Dubon.
It's Dubon.
If you need an emergency infielder, Dubon's got it. You should see Dubon's hands.
Dubon's got some hands.
You should see them.
Dubon's got hands.
We were talking about it. I think it was me and Brian McTaggart during the playoffs. Like Dubon was taking balls at shortstop, and his hands are insane. People were like, "Oh, it's Mauricio Dubon.
He got hands.
You know, he's middle of the road player." Well, middle of the road player is 1,000% better than you and me.
I saw Dubon take 4 ground balls, and they were 4 front hands,
dude,
up the line. And that play's tough just because you have to have such strong wrists and hands. He was working through a baseball and coming through it, and I was just like, holy shit!
Watching big league infielders take in and out is sex. It is
probably better than sex.
It is phenomenal.
Yes.
And watching Mauricio Dubon take ground balls.
It's sex.
Watching David Hensley take ground balls. Dude stands at 6'6".
Yeah.
And he takes them and it's effortless.
Yeah.
So yeah, no disrespect to Jake Myers, but I'm taking Dubon.
Well, that just depends on if you need an extra.
I'm just saying last roster spot, opening day roster.
But who is our backup?
No,
outfielder?
See, we're not going into all that because then you're going to make your case for Jake Myers. Like
we can go. We can tackle that next week.
You already have Hensley
because you're gonna have some battle positions, right?
Yeah.
The pin has a few spots.
Who's gonna be the backup?
Who's
catcher?
the backup catcher? Who's the last guys? Who's the utility? Who's filling Diaz's role? I'm leaning Hensley.
Yes.
Obviously, it comes to who's producing hitting. Like, what have you done for me lately, league? Which it's shitty, but that's what this is. Maton, I think, is fighting for a spot just because of all these different dudes that emerged. Seth Martinez is fighting for a spot. You have a lot of guys. And then Dusty's infatuation with a lefty.
Right. And then there's going to be names that we're not talking about right now that might have a badass spring. Like from
Ronel Blanco, who's been in Sugarland, just went in the Caribbean League and like had 50 scoreless innings.
Who's the big arm that was down in Sugarland that we kept talking about a little bit?
France?
No. JP France? No, is it JP France?
We didn't talk about JP France that much.
Who was the arm?
Dubon?
No, he's a. Damn it! Hold on, I'll figure it out.
But I think the big thing is with position battles. We're talking about position battles where it's guys on the 23rd, 24th, 25 man spots. You know, we're not talking about position battles like who's going to be 1 through 9 solidified. It's now all the other parts, which is crazy because this team is just built. I think this team's better than last year's team. We won the World Series last year, and you just lost Justin Verlander, and it's just crazy. I'm taking crazy pills. Talking about crazy pills while you guys do the research.
Man, this is gonna bother me.
Garrett
dude.
Cole likes to get waxed. Apparently,
He does.
I thought that was a good quote. I thought it was pretty funny. I chopped it up with the New York media saying that they got absolutely waxed after their head coach and Brian Cashman were like, "Hey, we're 4 wins away from a World Series appearance." Garrett Cole goes, "Yeah, we just got waxed." And like salon in baseball, you don't like getting waxed. And he had an interesting comment after that. And someone asked him straight up, "Is like, do you think with the signing of Rodon and the Astros losing Verlander, that the Yankees are now the team to beat in the American League?" And Garrett had a really good answer. He's like, "I don't think it's as easy as a plus minus situation because he's like, you know, we got Rizzo back, you know, but they got so and so back, and he's like, they got Brantley, blah blah blah." And once you start doing the plus and minus, like that's when you get lost in the weeds. It still comes to the fact you still got to throw the ball over the plate. And the fact is that lineup for the Yankees is the same lineup they returned. They got swept. Obviously, Rodon probably changes it a little bit because now you probably have Nestor game 3, but you can't. That was a dumbass question by the New York media saying a plus minus. And kudos to Garrett Cole to navigate that kind of quote and question because that was definitely set up some for bulletin board material compared to some other teammates from him. But
man, dude, this is gonna frustrate.
You're still trying to figure it out?
Yeah, man, I can't.
Okay, so what do we have left? Javier signed. Luis. Let's wrap it up with Luis.
Yeah.
Wrap it up with Luis.
The new rule, or not new rule, but the enforcement of an old rule.
Yeah, it's the balk.
They're trying to speed up the game. They're trying to do all these things.
Got bigger bases, pitch clock, banning the shift.
We should do it. We'll do
I have a problem.
They're limiting how many times you can pick off now. You can only do it twice.
Miles Straw's going to go crazy.
Yeah, we'll do
Kyle Tucker's for sure going to be a 33rd guy, 34th guy.
Season, we'll do a whole episode just on the rule changes.
Do you have a problem with this new shit?
I have a problem with this. Baseball is trying to do stuff to speed up the game and try to keep the younger demo in, right? They're trying to do everything to retain the young demo because they're losing it to other sports. The thing about baseball that makes it so perfect in my eyes, so imperfectly perfect, is that baseball players are weird. They're unique. They do things different. They have their own routines, and that's what makes the game so fucking great. The other story is this. You have Luis Garcia from Venezuela, a kid that probably dreamed about pitching in the major leagues, is living out his dream. He does the Rocket Baby, he does a dance, and now there's little leaguers all over Houston mimicking him and doing what he did. That should be celebrated. When you have a player from another country that does something and creates something, and then kids stateside are copying and mimicking that because they enjoy watching that, that's how you get fans in the game. Yeah. By taking that away, now you don't have that. And it blows my mind. Find other ways. Limit commercials.
Yeah.
Like, do something else. Like,
if everybody looks the same, then nothing's memorable.
You know how many times I was in the backyard doing the Nomar Garcia Parra? I hated Nomar in the Red Sox, but I was in the backyard doing the thing. Like, I had the Barry Bonds wiggle and taking the 30 minutes of that bat. The Sheffield. Even Jeter's routine would not even play today. Jeter took 40 seconds to walk from the on-deck circle to the thing because the guy was like, Derek Jeter.
How many times were you in your yard trying to mimic Jeff Bagwell's stance?
Mm-hmm. Craig Counsell. I would get up all
Craig Counsell. Yeah.
Or even another pitcher,
weird.
Kimbrel.
Yes.
That's a well-known thing.
And now you're trying to just make baseball like a basic AI generated player with basic things. What are we doing here?
My biggest problem with all of these rule changes is they're trying to speed up the game, but essentially they're about to slow it down.
Yes.
Imagine in the first month how many balks are going to be called. Every time there's a balk, what happens? A manager wants to come out and talk to the umpires about it.
Oh, yeah.
Pitchers have questions. Imagine if there's 5 balks called in a game. Do you know how many times people are going to come out and try to question it? Imagine you're going to have guys stealing. You're going to have more runs scored, and it's going to stretch the game out.
That's it. That is it right there in a nutshell. They're trying to shorten the game, but we're going to make more offense, which then may lead things in the game.
Right.
So you're not even doing it. You're doing things. Oh my gosh.
So
yes.
what's going to happen when you score more runs? What happens?
Game's longer. There's going to be more commercials, more ad
Exactly.
space you're going to sell. Now we're into 4.5 hour games.
So I don't like it, man. I don't like the bigger bases.
Free Luis.
It's not the bigger
Free
bases.
Luis.
They say it's for safety. Bullshit.
The
You
bigger
want more steals.
Yeah.
You want more action. You want a more entertaining product. When
Just
you go
say
to
it.
a baseball
Just
game,
say that.
right? Exactly.
say it.
But you're not going to get that from Rob
No.
Manfred. Rob Manfred's not Adam Silver.
Yeah.
Adam Silver. Did you see what Adam Silver in the NBA said about the referees yesterday?
They're finding them and grading them.
Yeah, they're actually they get slaps on the wrist. They get disciplined. They get disciplined for having bad games.
As you should.
Roger Goodell is so full of shit too in the NFL. He said reffing's never been better. We all know that's a lie.
Shit.
Rob Manfred comes out and he's talking about the blackout rules, and he's like dances around, doesn't even answer it. You're not going to get transparency from Rob Manfred. Dude, these big bags, it's not for safety. They want more steals. They want more runs. They want more entertainment. It's all bullshit.
Yeah.
And again, when you go to a baseball game, you should know you're going to go for at least 3 hours.
Especially today where all our information is right here for us to get. Don't piss on my head and call it rain.
Right. Don't pee in our face and call it rain.
Like, literally, we're not opening the Houston. He said piss on his face. It's not the Houston. We're not opening the Houston Chronicle and getting our news,
Dude,
because that's the only way we can get our news anymore. Like, everything
Shout
is
out Houston
right
Chronicle,
here. And so, like, it blows my mind.
The average
blows
game,
my mind.
The average game time in Major League Baseball right now is 3 hours and 3 minutes. Well, how many minutes are you going to shave off that? 3?
Yeah.
2?
And the thing is this too, football games are 3 hours.
Right.
Yeah.
Football.
The time isn't the issue.
It's
the selling of the product and having more people be able to see it, making it more fun in general.
But then
how many times in the backyard do you do the Ichiro shoulder thing and digging in?
Like
You're taking that away.
Another thing, like what you just said, like they want more people to see it and more entertaining and everything, but then you got the blackout rules.
Yeah.
What are we gonna be able to see?
Yeah.
And then you got Bally Sports that's literally going bankrupt.
Yikes.
That's 17 clubs attached to that.
Yikes.
They have a lot of problems in Major League Baseball, and yet they're focused on
And it's not
the product on the
player's
field.
flair. And you're about to see a product, and this goes back to Roger Goodell. It ties into XFL. They have the cameras, right? And the refs are held accountable on live TV.
Right.
Now we're about to have the World Baseball Classic. We're going to see every player that plays professionally have more flair, more show, throwing bat flips,
Yeah.
hugging their teammates. You're going to see people jumping out of the dugout like it's a college baseball game. And then a month and a half later, they're going to be chill because
Right.
Major League Baseball doesn't allow them to be themselves.
Right.
But the World Baseball Classic, they're going to have some fucking flair.
But it all goes back, and it all goes back to Rob Manfred.
Yeah, allegedly.
Fuck.
Allegedly.
It all goes back. I mean, but look, season's about to be here.
Spring training.
Position players report next week. Pitchers and catchers reported this week.
Baseball's
Man,
back,
it's
baby.
it's back.
So
it's
back.
good, especially if you're a Cowboys fan. Good to look into the baseball season.
Baseball's back.
Love it. You guys got anything else before we get out of here?
That was ugly.
that it?
That was so mean.
What?
Nothing.
What'd I say? Did I say
Nothing.
something wrong?
Nothing.
No,
Garrett,
you-
you're in
you
here.
were
Did I
talking-
say?
you're speaking truth.
Yeah.
over
Okay.
here.
That's what I thought. What? All right, Josh, take us out of here.
Take us out, Josh.
All right. Thank you for watching and listening to Beyond the Diamond podcast. Josh here with Brian and Dez. We will see you next time.
Peace.
Love you guys.